That's right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Carandran Role Playing. My name is Kevin Magnus Pinnings, also known as Cracked Palantir. I will be your host and game master for this episode 106 of Brise's Tale. And as always, my good buddy Max is here to play the beautiful and talented paladin Brise. Max, say hello to the lovely people.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far, and I hope we can make it even better.
Yeah, absolutely. We had some really interesting stuff go on. It was sort of a weird one in the sense of the narrative was largely carried by conversations, written conversations passed to and from you and I don't know what to say, an otherworldly sailor.
The tentacled being, yeah,
Yeah.
we have
Um,
to go by.
um, so you are basically exploring this temple,
Right.
and the in the temple you discover um, a broken portal, an unstable portal that is the size of maybe a smallish piece of poster board. It's sort of shaped in a rhombus, and it's not fixed in space. It is oscillating back and forth like an oscillating fan,
Right.
swinging like a pendulum back and forth in this sort of rotation, where it's swinging like so. And so you are passing messages back and forth across the portal to a sailor who was representing the city government of this very distant world,
Hmm.
very distant land, at least. It is so distant that we know that the environment is absolutely toxic to
Hmm.
you, and our environment is absolutely toxic to them. Um, the beings have sort of a walrus like face, dark eyes, they're sort of stocky, they have four tentacled limbs, and they have this. Your side of the portal is in the temple. Theirs is, of course, off the coast of a city.
Right.
And you guys have been writing messages back and forth using a spell that you have. You're able to read what they write and then write in their language.
Right. Text.
So um, they have been discussing with you the fact that there are these gigantic towering beings that they refer to as wild fiends
Hmm.
that are apparently 50, 60, 100 feet tall. We really don't know. They refer to them as several ships in height.
Right.
Um, and um, and that they are destructive, and they're the only ones who know these sort of magical arts of any sort. Um, so, uh, where would you leave off in the conversation? Give us a couple of instances of things that you've been talking
Sure.
about.
Really quick, I do notice we're pretty laggy on the YouTube side. I hope that's not just YouTube. So yeah, if anyone in chat notices we're stuttering, just let us know. Maybe we'll
Yes, please do,
reassess it.
guys.
Like it's really bad, but hopefully that's just an illusion and it's not like that. Um,
Right. Maybe
so
the recorded version will not have this.
yeah, we'll keep going. Let us know if it's distracting. Um, but okay, yeah. So we were talking about um, kind of about like our rulers. They had mentioned, who is our ruler, and I kind of alluded to the Goblin Queen as well as Lady Miagral. Um, and they also have they called them just rulers. Can't remember the exact name they gave them. Oh, that's right, because we were. I don't have notes of it because we were what's the word? Copying the conversation kind of verbatim.
Right. We were
Right.
literally typing it in private chat
Right.
to one another and then just narrating it for the.
Yeah. So they didn't
for the
even know that I was in another world. They said, "How far are you? Where are you?" Right? And so I had to explain
right.
to them, "You're not going to find me, and I'm not going to find you, um, except through this window here." Yeah, they have the council comprised of these names: Ebreen, Omaluf, and Zaluk, um, and they rule. They call them the Ebrikin, which I guess that might be a place or their name. I should clarify that. Um,
And that's the Council of Sisters. Is that what they referred to that their rulers as?
oh, I see. I just wrote here the council is comprised of Ebreen, Omaluf, and Zaluk. They did not say sisters. Um, they say Ebriken is a proud nation in the western part of our lands. So, and then anything else, right? And they just say that the wild fiends use magical arts exclusively. So, um, and we also know there's a place called Clayabon they refer to. So there's a lot of loose ends, and I'll try to clarify some of them. Now, there was one important distinction when I asked about if there's a way I could come into your world. Obviously their air is toxic to me and vice versa. I asked if there's a way I could be protected from that. The sailor I'm talking to himself is interested in trying to help me achieve that, but his people, his
Oh
captain
dear,
at least,
there was
told.
a bit of lag there on my end, on your end.
Oh, is that right? Okay. I'll just repeat that. So the one sailor I was talking with is interested in me
What?
through the portal, would like to help me with that.
Hmm.
Oh, you're lagging too, Kevin. Uh-oh. Man, this might not be a
This may be a bad
Oh,
night.
Obi-Wan Karen says I'm not noticing any delays, intellectual or otherwise.
Isn't
So
that clever?
that is very good. I don't really understand what she's talking about, but okay. So
Also, what are we doing and where am I?
so yeah, I just talked about the one sailor who I'm communicating with is interested in bringing me through the portal, or at least helping me to do that. But his captain and his people seem to be, say that that shall not happen. That won't be allowed. So there might be a bit of a uh, conflict there, conflict of interest. So it's interesting.
Yeah, they're certainly wary. They fear that there was evidence that they feared that you were an agent um, of
The
an
wild,
agent of the wild fiends, because
right?
the wild fiends are the only ones who can do sort of these supernatural things like create a portal.
Right.
They had not noticed this portal before, it would seem,
Right.
and only your lantern light, um, um, sort of flashing as the oscillating portal came across your torchlight, your lantern light.
Right.
Did they notice it at all? And so they immediately sent out these 3 ships to investigate. Um, well, so you guys were going back and forth. Where did we leave? What was the last thing we were talking about in the?
So last thing they mentioned, will you send an envoy for your ruler? And I had replied, yes, but it'll take much time. I wonder if we can maybe just edit that to we discussed before the stream, right? I would reply, can you give me 2 weeks to send an envoy? So I'll write that down and
Okay, yeah. Why don't you
show
add
them.
that to your message, and
Right.
then it took you several days to find this place, and so whoever comes here. Now, complication we didn't discuss is that you will be bringing Miagro's people closer in contact to the Iron Empress's uh,
That's true.
controls. Now, maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You can't, and something that occurs to me is because I think I felt this as a role player before. Um, Not everything is your responsibility.
Right. Right.
You know what
I
I
mean,
mean? Like,
I would just say, hey, look, there are these, yeah, these trolls and ogres walking around under the Iron Empress's command. So you know, that's all I
Right.
can tell them. Yeah. They'll do
Um,
with that what they wish.
right. Um, so,
So do we want, do you want to keep up the private chat, like going back and forth, or should we
yeah,
just,
I'm fine to do that.
okay.
Um,
So I just, I'll just reply with this message here. The private chat is being
so what's your next, what's your next sort of point you want to cover with them while
yeah.
while
So
you
I asked them,
ask?
yes, do you have 2 weeks to wait? I asked them next about their nations. So they talked about the one, I need to write the Erbrikken, Erbrikken. And so I asked them, are there other nations such as Erbrikken in your world? And what are they like? So I can write that down too.
So messages get passed, um, and you're past one that says that says oh wait, you know what? You said 2 weeks. We've said 2 weeks like a dummy, as though we know. I guess we just would. I guess,
Oh, sure, they're the unit of time, right? Oh,
but it doesn't matter because we have no reason to even conceive of the idea that their length of day or any of that would be different.
right. So Brees would just say two
2 weeks.
weeks, and we'll see what they say. Yeah, and unless Brees thinks about to clarify,
So a quick official message is passed back to you that says we will have an envoy here at that time.
Literally a couple seconds pass, and an envoy like appears. It's like 2 weeks. Time
Yeah.
is fast in our world. Okay.
Um, um, they.
It's been 2 weeks since you looked at.
That's right. That's such a great song, man. That when that song came out, man, everybody was singing that thing.
Hey, Henry, welcome.
Hey, Henry.
We're just continuing our conversation from last session with these otherworldly beings.
Right.
Or as we said, email, extraterrestrial mail.
Mail. That's right. It's hand delivered. This is like classy email,
Thousands of light years in the blink of an eye.
It's email or however it identifies itself. We don't pass judgment. It's none of our business, really, right? Republicans, seriously, who does it harm? Anyway.
Do you have Republicans in your world? Yes. Okay, never mind. We'll
hard pass.
We'll find another. Yeah, I mean the toxic air I could get behind, but
no. It explains the toxic air. Lack of environmental regulation.
There goes half our viewership. Oh, great.
I know.
Okay.
So they tell you there are more than 60 other nations on our continent and the other 4.
Wow. Okay.
Large
populated world. Makes sense. I guess in terms of Brees's perspective, I would think Karandran has, or the continent of Karandran, has 6 or 7 nations, major nations.
I mean, you are in the region known as the 4 lands. There's 4 right there.
Yeah.
There are 2 desert nations.
Right.
That brings you to 6. And then there's the nations on the and then there's the nations directly to your north, which is the directly to your home's north,
right,
which are the 2 nations of the plainsmen. That brings you to 8, and then there's all of the nations on the peninsula. So maybe you're looking at 15 to a dozen, something like that.
Okay.
And now you've just learned, of course, of the numerous goblin nations
to
the very far, far east.
Right.
Um,
So maybe that number kind of makes sense to me. It's like, okay, maybe they 60 nations sounds about
right. And you may not recall, but Brees knows too now that there's another continent. Carandran is not the only major
right.
land
Yeah, I forgot. That was a long time ago. Yeah.
a long time ago. So to the south, you know that there's another nation of dark skinned peoples.
Mhm.
We would term them African in appearance or African American in appearance, and and but rarely do the two continents cross. And that's the reasons behind that you don't know.
Right.
Um,
I've never looked into that. Yeah, I should look into that. That's interesting. If Brees is interested in other worlds, that is kind of like right up her alley. Yeah.
exactly. Um, um, they ask who of your nations is considered the greatest. Um, I
Uh,
should say,
that's a
which
nice question. Yeah. Um, I mean, I guess in terms of like world power, right? I would think of the I don't know. Actually, I guess I'm not really. Brees isn't really sure, right? Because there's the Elven kings, but even their regime is
yeah, the Elven
overshadowed by the
States has been
Goblin.
in decline for
Right.
most of it's the dating system that we use in Carandran is based on the reign of the last king. Oh, fun.
Yeah, I guess I can tell them about a couple different. I can just
Uh,
mention like so.
roll
Nar.
roll for me.
Sure. I'm just going to summarize a few major ones. 82.
The talk you've heard puts Theaxia as the rising power.
I see.
With the decline of the Elven states and the growth of Theaxia, then what you hear is how prosperous the cities are.
Right.
Certainly, you've found that the roads in Theaxia are just generally better maintained, and a lot of the roads and the Elven states are crumbling. Theft is getting worse on the roads, and so on.
Okay.
And and so as much pride as you do have in your own nation, which is incidentally not we consider it's not in the modern sense. You won't have modern nationalism in this world for
True. Yeah.
another couple of centuries probably. Um, so
I guess I would say the nation of Theaxia is rising and well, I guess I would just say is um, how would I describe that?
and you can see just rising in influence.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
is rising in influence.
we know too from last stream, gang, that they were very surprised to learn that Breeze could use magic, and they're not sure. We're not certain they even believe
Right.
her, but also that there are no wild fiends in this world. Did they? And they were interested in how they were slain and so on. And Breeze could only say, "Look, we have large and powerful creatures in this world that are destructive, but just nothing like you've described. Although certainly some giants in myth." And the stories you've heard could be that large, but um,
So on that note, I do ask. So as the nation of the Axia is, rising in influence in my world, and what are the powers of the wild fiends, and how are they a threat to your people? Is what I ask them.
um, so um, um, it says that um, the wild fiends attack cities at will. Um,
Mm.
often hurling spells of lightning and stone. They can. They also create doorways such as these, some of which release hosts of creatures.
Lightning, stone.
He adds, they also have great powers of deception and illusion.
Okay.
So you must be wary. They may be on your world as well, or in your lands.
Yeah. Oops. Okay. I accidentally sent a message.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I ask, do they seek something more than just your people's destruction? Seek. Also cool, Henry. You're working on some for your local store. That's cool. Saw that. I'm kind of behind on the
freelance project. That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice. We are. It's on my end. Look at how I can see my bars.
Yeah,
just dropping off.
Yeah, just went up and down a little bit.
So says that 6 nations have fallen to them, and now their peoples labor for the giants.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Interested in enslaving their people.
It's very interesting. I mean, it's talk about an adventure, I guess. You're right. I mean,
yeah, I'm like, I'm more just curious to find out what are these creatures and why are they doing this? As a kind of like the feel of a comic book, it's like these 300-foot tall creatures are enslaved 6 of our nations.
Right.
60. Okay. The last thing I ask is what do your people I guess how should I refer to our people as?
What are your people called?
Yeah. They just how should I refer to your people as? They just write back, awesome.
That's right. That's right.
Awesome ones. And humble.
Awesome and humble. That's right. There's our next T-shirt idea. That's gonna be.
That's actually really good. I like that. I'm as awesome as I am humble.
That's right. So
write down some stuff in my goals here. Dog barking outside. Might be a wild fiend.
Oh man. Who let the fiends out? They respond, Bryn Vire, and you. What do you call yourselves?
Brinvire. Okay. Put that down. So I'll say, oops, that's not what he meant to do. We have different, races here, but my kind are called, I guess high men would be the right term. Right.
Yeah.
Right. We have different races here, but my kind are called the high men. Rinvir.
Before you send that, the sailor passes you a message surreptitiously and that says they deceive you. They know you are called human.
Interesting.
We learned last stream that they had seen the sailor trust has an intuitive trust of Brise, and said, that they told Brise that it was impossible for him for her to travel to this land. But the sailor said, I trust your spirit is good, and there must be a way for your people to survive here because we know of your kind. A few of you have visited us.
Mm-hmm.
And so here again, we have the sailor sort of stepping in and making sort of a cautious addition to the conversation.
Okay. I'll say, to end the conversation here, I wish your people luck, and we shall meet again in 2 weeks. And then I'll put like on a line beneath it, right? What is your name, friend? That's clear enough. Like I'm talking to this sailor, yeah. Because I'll look at his facial details, but man, I don't know how to tell this guy apart from the other tentacled, otherworldly creatures.
The research seems to prove that, like among humans, right? When they say, all white people look the same, all Asian people, that it is true within each race, that each race only specializes in their own kind.
Right.
And that everyone struggles to differentiate within another race group. And of course, it makes some sense, although, faces are so important to us. I'm surprised it's as true as the study suggested. And of course, that may be overturned by later research. This study was probably 15 years old or so when it was about 15 years back when I read it.
Right. I don't know. I'm always, the theory where it's like, we were originally on this planet, we interacted with people who were close to us. So, we would see those slight differences. But like now, with the internet and so many cultures we're exposed to, it's kind of like, like, I don't know if our brains are smart enough to like hardwire, see all those differences in people's faces and cultures. And we have to kind of teach ourselves that. So,
right.
Yeah. So, okay, we'll see what his response is. Hello, Midnight Dawn.
Midnight Dawn. Hope you're doing well.
Oh my God. I've never even thought about that.
What did she say?
She the hymen or the hymen.
Oh, as in anatomically?
Yes.
Yes.
The hymen. If anyone would think of that, it would be Midnight Dawn. So,
that's right.
Kudos.
Oh, interesting. I hopped over to read her message and hopped back, and it deleted what I had typed.
That's a feature, not a bug.
That's right.
It's very secure, so you can't leave any sensitive data when you leave. Oh my gosh. I should work for Streamlabs.
That's right. So he says, "Good luck to you," or writes to you, "Good luck to you. I am called Zaresk."
Zaresk. Name of. Okay.
I take it with that, you are moving on.
Yeah.
Different conversation.
So we will
Um,
part ways here, and yeah. So I guess just make sure they do. Want to make sure. I guess they do start looking like they're disembarking, right? Like if I step away and just kind of watch a little bit.
well, it doesn't matter, right? You've made your decision, right?
To come back in 2 weeks.
Or to not continue the conversation.
Right. But I know I'm just like, okay. I'm still not like trusting, that if they are trying to deceive me, right, if they are still trying to find a way into this world, I guess, yeah, there's no way I can really monitor this. So we'll
Yeah,
just,
I mean, unless you're going to fill this room with dirt,
right.
you
Well,
know.
it's worth maybe putting a holy lock on the door, right?
The two doors. Remember the door, the
Oh, that's right.
room is now
There's now a
torn.
hole, yeah, in
I
the
mean, it is. Yeah, the wall that separated these two rooms is now shredded because of the disturbed potion eaters. These large, sort of about the size of a hippo-sized creatures. I mean, they just tore through. Um,
Well, I think we're probably all right. If they send anyone else through, they're gonna have a lot to deal with when they get here anyway. So
that's right. Up, Quinn.
welcome, Quinn. Wow, we got quite a crowd here.
We do. We got a party going on. I like it.
All right.
So yeah, so we just wrapped up the conversation um, with the tentacled people in the other land through the portal. And what's next on your agenda?
Yeah, let's continue our exploration then of this back half of the temple. If you want to pull the map up, yeah, there we go. So I'm trying to remember where we hadn't explored. Also, this chat kind of gets in the way. There we go. Okay, yeah. So I think we've explored the room with the 3 dots, right? That was the
Braziers.
yeah, the braziers.
Those were braziers in which with irons in them that the brothers used to torture individuals.
Right.
So
If you want to know more about that, check out 2 streams ago.
right.
Or so. Okay, so we'll exit the room, and where the crystal guy is, we'll pass him. The yellow icon should be one of the.
You can't really get around him.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
I mean, without, unfortunately, literally busting him up.
Yeah. I wonder. It would be worth trying to. We haven't decided yet if the. I'm assuming this guy died, in the crystal, but it would be interesting to break him open and see, if it was any preserved in any way.
I mean, you can see through; they're transparent,
right?
So yeah, they seem in very good shape for it being. How many years did we figure it was? I can't remember now.
Yeah, I can't remember what the Pen, because there was the underground where we saw also remnants of the Pen soldiers too, right?
Right. No, those were different soldiers.
Oh no, those were the lizard soldiers.
Those were right. The what we might call the snake riders.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm curious if I could. So we'll go up to the crystal and investigate it a bit. If I pick up a stone, and try to tap at it, if I can try to get it to crack without making too much noise. I guess there was a ton of noise here earlier, so
yeah,
probably scared everything off.
Yeah, you're certainly sort of on the lookout now for things coming from the upper levels.
Investigate.
to investigate. Um, so you tap on an area that seems kind of weak,
Mhm.
and it cracks, and you sort of keep tapping, and it's sort of like pressing on the crack of an egg, right? That's clearly a fault in it. It just keeps running. You uncover part of his arm, um, and um, while it's room temperature, it seems perfectly preserved.
Wow.
Yeah, I know it was over a decade ago. I remember that, but I can't remember how far back it was. Not hundreds of years by any means, but yeah. So
Okay. Or we can maybe keep tapping and just maybe free his head a little bit as well.
as it gets thicker up there, particularly around his neck, um,
Mhm.
the sort of following the fault kind of procedure and tapping sort of
Yeah.
ceases to be effective. And it just feels weird to strike at the guy's head.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are thin spots up there if you would like to try.
I mean, yeah, I think we'll give it a try.
All right, so
I'm assuming
roll.
he's dead, and so just thinking of it like that, yeah.
Right, so roll to see if you can overcome sort of your natural.
40?
Um, yeah, all right. So you give it a whack. It's tentative. All right, some of it breaks off,
Okay.
and you sort of keep doing light tapping, and now big chunks come off, and you feel now like you're sort of almost taking off armor in
Yeah.
chunks from him, right? And
I'll,
so,
also be pausing every once in a while and just listen if anything's approaching.
right,
Yeah.
roll for me.
72. Oh, what happened there? Is it? Oh, it's just me. What?
What
There we go.
happened?
I claimed the whole stream for a moment there.
You did.
Usually it's my internet that's going out. That's what a twist of fate.
Yeah, I'm showing the wrong thing. There we go.
Okay.
Sorry, what did you roll? You went out just as you told me.
Uh, was I rolling? I rolled a 72.
That's what I didn't hear.
Okay.
It occurs to you that unless it's really loud, you are under the hill now. And so there's going to be a lot of muffling going on. But it's clear that Nilani hears something.
Okay.
And she is cocking her head to the upper floor. What would you like to do?
Interesting. So I can't remember it. Can I see these stairs here on the map, or are those kind of out of view?
No, those are out of view. That wall is there's a
Okay.
wall there.
Right. So I don't really know where to look for if something's coming. So I'll keep going. I'll keep tapping at it. And then every night, every 5 seconds or so, just tune into Nalani and see what she's hearing. Nalani, my very helpful Falcon familiar.
Yeah, it really has
saved my life probably more times than I've saved hers.
That's right. Man, that like killing blow she did on the demon, like
wild.
That was so crazy. Your second battle in here.
Mm-hmm. Scary.
There is she turns her head again. You concentrate. She is definitely hearing something feathered. And you can feel, like, you sort of feel her impression that it's another bird,
Mm.
but of much greater size. Um, it turns out that all the wild fiends are feathered. That's what we didn't know. That's why they're called big guys. So big birds. I'm sorry, they're called big birds. And so the so she's, she's acting nervous,
Right.
probably because big birds represent a threat to her, right? Raptors, really large eagles, things like that. Um, what's the date in game? Is it the 12th, 13th?
It is the 11th of
The
June.
11th. Okay, you've got 2 days before the Trinidad show up.
That's right.
So now you both hear from forward in the temple, so to your left, there is sort of the whoosh of wings. Roll for me.
82.
Definitely, whatever it is in the main sanctuary where the main statue of the Iron Empress is,
Oh, okay.
and um, and it is, the sound of it is much smaller than the sound of a great eagle. That, will always be in your mind, like that just enormous sound when they take off, their wings propel them up. So it's not so large as to be the size of a great eagle, but it's certainly bigger than Nilani.
Okay.
Um,
So we'll back up for now, and so I guess if it's coming from that area, it'll come down the hallway. That's where I'm looking down. Right, I expect it to maybe come across there. So
yes,
I will. Let's back into this room where the portal was again.
is
Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
And look at the peer out from the corner there.
The sound of wing beats is receding.
Okay.
Something is definitely flying, but it sounds like it's flying out of the temple, whether out the main entrance, out some upper area. That second level has taken damage and is
Yeah.
exposed to um, the area, the side you're facing. In fact, that's the area that's taking damage.
I'll remain in hiding until Nilani looks like she's kind of regained her composure.
She definitely is happier now.
Okay.
Um,
Crisis averted.
that's right.
A rare occurrence in Karandran.
Rare occurrence in Karandran. So,
Okay. Yeah, we'll get back to it, then go back to see if I can free this part of this guy's head and just.
you have him freed from basically the top of the shoulders up.
Okay. Okay.
His head now sags forward, and you're like, oh, right. And so, like, if you get him from the waist down, he will sag. He'll bend all the way down. I mean,
Right.
it's kind of
Okay.
sad.
Does it look like there's anything well, either valuable or anything interesting? Like maybe a part, something might carry some notes or books or anything on him.
He was not packed to go.
Hmm.
Just sort of weapon. He's got a pouch, but you can't really get to it. He's got a small pouch on one side of his belt, large pouch on the other.
Okay.
I mean, there could be a small journal in there.
Yeah, that'd take me probably a while to try to crack that open,
Yeah.
unless I just swing my mace at it.
Yes. Flail.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah, flail. I'm looking through my spells too. If there's nothing really, I would like changing the material, right? Or like
Right.
extracting. All I need to do is rewind time before the lizard.
Exactly. Get in your time machine.
The simplest solution. Okay, I mean, I can. I'll try to pull out my flail, and we'll give it hopefully a clean swing, and near where his kind of belt is, where those pouches are, to free that area. I think that will be worthwhile.
It shatters. Um, and apparently, there's some interaction between the enchantment on the flail and the nature of this crystal.
Oh,
Um, the crystal glows pink in the surrounding broken areas that you were able to break off with the flail. Um, your flail is almost too cold to handle.
Okay.
You concentrate on the flail. Its enchantment seems intact,
Okay.
but it is harder to attune to, especially since you didn't have to attune to this at all. You just picked it up, and it has instant attunement.
Now it's kind of resisting.
And now it's like you've got to concentrate a little bit to get a full understanding of what the flail does. But you have freed the larger, now have access to the larger pouch. You haven't really freed it.
Right. Yeah. We'll open that up and see what's inside. Damaged area. My enchant is attacked.
This is crazy. So the pouch does contain paper, dried ink, quills, and sort of going through the letters, the papers, and reading them. There are letters from.
Okay, cool.
There's letters from a nobleman to, you have to assume, this guy, promising him money if he, money and title, if he continues to serve him without letting his true lord know.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
The lord in question is named Werbrault. I will send it to you in chat.
The true lord, or this man who's trying
The
to
lord
wrote the letter.
Who wrote the letter.
Right. Thank you. He's the pen lord. He's very good at writing.
He's so good.
Okay. Something like that.
You have a curious visitor who approaches. Wrong button.
This is our lizard mama, I believe.
Yes. Sort of a six-legged lizard with sort of the face of the American chameleon, sort of that very ovoid face,
Right.
and it has a crystal tipped. It's six-legged. Has a crystal tipped tail. We know that it and its offspring freeze prey with it, and then can free the prey somehow, and or just eat whatever's not frozen. It
Mhm.
has not made an effort to eat these men in all these years. Um, what would you like to do as it approaches into your light?
I'll stay put where I am. It didn't seem to mind me before, so I'll just kind of keep an eye on it. And is there more to read of the letter, or is that's the gist of it?
No, that's the. I mean,
Okay,
there are place names and this sort of thing that
right. Yeah,
reference.
nothing that gives me more about the nature of this relationship. Or
No, but the place names, of course, would give you an idea of where this lord is. The
okay,
references are, wouldn't you like, a small estate near this place or near this place?
right,
This can be yours so long as you continue to provide me information.
right.
Um,
Hmm.
um, roll for me.
52.
Before you know it, there is a blast from the lizard's tail.
Oh no.
It strikes the soldier in the back
Oh, okay.
and re-encases him. Um,
Hmm.
you are just totally caught flat-footed. Your
Yeah.
arm is now stuck to the wall
Oh my gosh.
with the
Okay.
letters, partially encased.
Right.
Um, it
Well,
has a very pleasant warmth to it
oh,
um,
that's
that
good.
gradually begins to cool, and
I'll
the
just
lizard
I'll,
stays
I,
there.
I just like lean against the wall. Yeah, I think I'll just chill here for a
That's right. You're like a guy, you're like a guy sort of acting cool. So yeah, I mean, you really pull again. It's just not going. Um,
Wow.
um,
Looking at the lizard, does it look like it's changed posture at all, or is it still just kind of looking at me curiously?
it relaxes again. I mean, it sort of bowed up a little bit to fire, and then it just
Right.
relaxes again and watches. This might be a good time for a great break while you're.
Yeah. I mean, Brees is ready for a break too. She's
I
just
know, right?
out here. So okay.
Um, so, guys, we're gonna just hop and go stretch our legs and refill our drinks. We hope you will do the same.
Mhm.
And we'll be right back with you in just a few seconds. So bear with us, and we'll see you in a few seconds.
Right.
Hi, everybody. Let me get our buddy back here. There we are.
Yeah.
There we go. I like.
So, bye bye, Henry. Hope we stuck around long enough to hear that.
Yeah,
Have a good doctor's appointment.
that's right. I had a good doctor's appointment today, I have to say.
Mm,
Um,
very handsy today.
yes, yes, those are the best. Best. I had the weirdest. What are they called? The people who draw your blood. There's a word for them. I forget what their name.
Yeah, you're
What's
right. I don't know.
something? It's an IST. It's anyway. But she knocks on the door and she mutters, right? I've never been to this place. This is a new doctor for me.
Hmm.
And the woman, she doesn't stick her, she just knocks and opens the door and goes, something blood draw. And then I said, I'm sorry, what? There's no answer. I said, are you coming in? Am I coming out? Hello? And then I wait and I kind of half stand up and then she comes back and she goes, I
Hey,
don't, and she doesn't come all the way to the door. She goes, come out for blood draw. And I'm like, okay. And so I step out in the hall. She's already so far down the hall that
yeah.
I can't believe it's her who spoke, you know? And I'm like, am I following you? Are you the woman? It's
And you know,
so weird.
and as someone with like a little bit of social anxiety, it's like, yeah, it's like, what do you do in that situation? You know, you're afraid to excuse me, you're being too quiet, and you're also don't know how to obey them. It's just like,
Yeah.
okay.
You're like, why don't you hang around to make sure you're heard? Can I get you a taxi? I mean, you're really far down the hallway. It was very odd. That part of it was very odd.
Uber down to the down the hall.
Right. So,
Right.
yeah. So you are stuck to the wall. I
I
am
am stuck.
afraid.
Well, I will. If I have my flail in hand still, I don't obviously don't want to swing it at my arm, but maybe just grab it like close to the hard balls at the end, and maybe just kind of doing that to try to crack it enough so I can free myself.
It's pretty thick. Um, yeah, it's not having any effect.
Okay.
The lizard goes about his own business. I'm gonna get that map back up.
Hmm.
Um,
Hey, thanks.
hate to spit and run. Oh, that so phlebotomist.
Run.
Quinn and Obi-Wan tell us. Thank you,
A
guys. I knew it
phlebotomist.
was.
That was not what I was thinking of. Wow.
I was going lobotomist. I felt like it had a bottomist to it, but I
Mhm.
couldn't. I just couldn't bring it to mind. So yeah. So this guy, just f's off. It's interesting. He's making him disappear. That's funny. Boop,
Oh yeah, I just hidden.
boop.
He just chameleon just blended
Oh,
in.
that's hilarious. I should.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll try. I'll try a teleport. Just 5 feet behind me.
Boop. I'm sorry. It's fun having him appear and disappear.
Not the lizard teleporting. I want to teleport.
I'm just gonna park him over here. He is out of sight, but
Okay.
so I don't know.
Actually, I guess I'll probably teleport behind the crystal crystallized man, right? So I can get past him.
Right.
So just nothing should go wrong, right? I've teleported with stuff in my, I guess worst case, I might still have some crystal attached to me. Maybe, I don't know.
You are fearful that there clearly are interactions with magic and this material.
Right. Hmm. Is there anything that would be a little safer that I could try?
Don't you have a dagger that's pretty exceptional?
That's true. I guess I could just hack at it with something. I was thinking like crystal bludgeoning, but you're right. Maybe if I stab at it, it might be more effective. Let's see. Yeah, I've got here's this guy. Equipped in my belt, my +15 dagger. I also have +10 dagger. So yeah, I would use the actually +20 piercing dagger, which
That's what I was
ignores the
thinking.
defensive bonuses granted by worn armor.
So maybe it is.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the one I was thinking of. That really
Yeah.
had sort of a
Okay.
penetration element to it.
Yeah, it's equipped in my belt around 3 o'clock. So I'll just grab that and try to
Right.
stab at it a little. Chink, chink, chink.
It cuts very easily
Oh,
through the crystal material. But you have to stop every now and then because
yeah.
the blades, the whole weapon gets hot, um, to the point that it really is uncomfortable to hold. So after just a couple of, a swipe and a pause, a swipe and a pause, a swipe,
Yeah.
and, sort of cutting the top and the bottom, you're sort of able to cut a greave of this material out, right,
Right.
and let it fall to the floor, and you can pull your arm out.
Okay.
The material itself it shuddered while it was being cut. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
The dagger itself is unharmed. You check it over in terms of the blade, but also in terms of the enchantment, and it seems to be fine.
Easily through it with my dagger of dagger. This is my dagger of piercing
Piercing.
dagger. So just out of curiosity, I'll take out my other +15 dagger, and just give that one a try as well. See if that
The
cuts in the same way.
+15. What's the
Yeah.
origin of the +15?
It has it's +15 magic. It's
Okay.
got a blue dagger with a vein running through it and a pulse of light. So actually, maybe let's not do that now that I think about it. If the other one
Okay.
reacted to it, yeah, I don't have any other daggers. Okay, I'm curious about it, but don't want to risk. Yeah. Okay. We'll just leave that as it is then. Piercing dagger. Okay, so I can't really get around this guy, but I can come. I guess I'll backtrack and we'll try to come around from the other side then. So
Where is my little handle? Is that my handle? No. Oh, there it is.
here is my handle.
There is my spout. Sometimes I sing.
I was just like, man, I haven't heard that song since I was a kid.
That's hilarious.
Oh, good old days. Music was simple.
And
Okay.
where to?
So we'll make a right, go up this hallway, and then make the first right that becomes available.
Guys, this is how early video games were done. You had to tell the person on the other end of the phone how to move your figure.
This is Asteroid. This is Advanced Asteroids.
That's right. Oh, that's right.
Actually, you know what this reminds me of Adventure, if you ever played that. I loved it as a kid. It was one of the first like adventure game, like precursor to Legend of Zelda. You're just this little colorful square moving around rooms, and there'd be a dragon, and like if the dragon hits you, you're dead. You just have to avoid him and go get a key and exit and then an Easter egg too. If you got like all the keys, it would give you some message of the game's creator, some like made by. It was
that's cool.
Yeah, I think it was Atari or maybe even older. It might have been just like an operating system kind of game, but it's cool. Cool video game history. So
I don't think you've been down this hallway.
I have not. So let's turn down here and start investigating, starting with this open door here.
It's hard to believe that anything's in there. Probably stop and listen here first, just so you don't pass anything up. No sounds from that door. Move to this one and listen. Nothing there. Step in. Room is largely empty. What do we have here?
Here.
There
Oddly enough, Kevin does have an appointment with the lobotomist.
I do. Obi-Wan Karen's been planning that for quite some time, trying to get me. Oh, and I'm on the map, so keep track of the chats for me if you would,
Right.
buddy.
Right.
Um,
Brise destroying magical weapons again. Yeah, I've destroyed quite a few enchantments in my time.
I mean, you had that spear got lopped off by the construct. Remember that?
Yes, yeah. What one more of Obi-Wan says that's why he's cracked Palantir from the lobotomy, which is brilliant. That is
That's so
really
true.
great.
My joke is with that, people ask me like, why do you choose that name? I said, well, I can see far, but just not that well.
There you go.
So there is a hearth to your back. Um, um, Judging where it is, the size of the room, and it is fairly nice. There's really a lot of effort with um, the engravings on the walls and the mosaics on the floor,
Okay.
and it's it is it must be a priest's office.
Mm,
So this may be, where they do private studies and this sort of thing, but everything is gone from here, even desks and shelves.
okay.
Um, there is a mosaic here a mosaic? No, an engraving on the wall, and it's got a caption. I mean, you use your spectacles of sophistication. It is translated, but it shows basically a side view of the Iron Empress in labor, laying on her back, kind of propped up
Okay.
in labor, sort of wearing a gown, and she is literally giving birth to dragons.
Wow.
And it says, um,
That's funny. Doesn't that happen in Revelations in the Bible? I remember that as a kid reading that, and skipping around in the Bible, and I go to like Revelations, and it's like, and then the woman gave birth to like serpents, and I was like, what the kid?
nothing is better than the story of Balaam's ass.
Is that actually a legitimate
It's
story?
an actually, aside from being a hilarious title, it is a legitimate story, and it's just, it's just the language of myth and religion is so funny to me in this instance because it just will lay things out very matter of factly and just
Right.
roll with it. And so basically, he's riding his donkey. And at one point in the story, the donkey just turns and talks to him. And Balaam she has no problem with this. Of course, donkeys will occasionally talk. And I just love the fact because he's beating the donkey and there's this whole thing. It's one of these, look, brace yourself. It's one of these stupid Bible stories where you don't understand how it ever made it in because basically you're riding this donkey. The donkey can see an angel in the way holding a sword, the way they're going. But it says specifically that Balaam cannot see it. It is hidden from his eyes.
Hmm.
So the donkey sort of tries to move out of the way of the angel, and Balaam, not seeing the angel, is pulling on him and beating him, saying, "Go this way, go this way."
Yeah.
They come across another one that Balaam can't see, but the ass can, and it's in a narrow like alleyway. And so the ass moves to the far side of the alley, such that Balaam is rubbed up against the wall,
Right.
and Balaam is hitting him and hitting him and hitting him.
Still
And,
can't see the angel.
and then the donkey turns and goes like, "Hey, why are you hitting me?" And Balaam's fine with that, as we discussed, just okay with it. And he goes, "I was trying to save you. Can't you see these angels?" Well, then God reveals the angels to Balaam. Well, I don't know what we're supposed to learn from that other than the lesson we already should know, which is that God is an asshole. What kind of lesson is so dumb? It's so dumb. But I just love that the donkey just turns and says, "Hey, what's up?
That is
What's going
brilliant.
on? Quit Quit hit me about the head and neck.
You
Anyway,
know, in the Bible's defense, sometimes those like ancient translations, like they mean different things and they get mistranslated. Have
oh
you heard
yeah,
like the Sumerian joke about a dog? It's you know, from 4,000 years ago, this joke that is survived and is translated as dog walks into a bar and says, "I cannot see a thing. I'll open this one." And that's it. And like people are like, I think like open this one might have something to do with like rubbing one out or something. And like ancient Sumerian culture. Like people are trying to find all these meanings for it. And just no one can decipher why it's
that's
funny or why
so great. Yeah,
creation.
Obi-Wan Karen loves that kind of stuff because
Yeah,
she's interested in translation work.
it's hilarious.
Um,
So
so the caption below this engraving
right.
is is sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Is Mother of the Skyfires.
Oh, okay.
Nothing else of real note. It was just that image of the dragon that struck you.
Yeah.
Dragons.
There weren't any really depictions of dragons in other murals I recall, right? Snakes typically associated with
Yes.
Chris, but
Yes.
not dragons.
Oh, I should open this door.
Interesting. We'll continue on to the next room then. So no, Obi-Wan sent some emojis in chat, but they only appeared as squares for me, so you might have to describe that. Sorry,
That's funny.
Obi-Wan.
Let's see. Yep, they're just squares for me too. Sorry, Obi-Wan. If there was only a biblical scholar on this chat, I'd awkward. I don't know why I don't know what biblical come into play. I mean, Balaam's ass is just a terrible story. The end. God needed an editor. All right, so you're gonna cross the hall or you're gonna go down?
Yeah, let's cross the hall. Let's explore these rooms. Yeah, side by side.
You've already listened. There was nothing. Door opens as you test it gingerly. Here again, you have the dragon motif.
Okay.
A captioned engraving. And it is this fiery serpent standing with its head bowed before the Iron Empress. And it says, the caption says, I've lost my list of the god names. What have I done with those? What is Wanbray? That's right. That's the Iron Empress's name. It says the courting of Wanbray.
Okay. Wanbray had some interesting tastes.
It did. She did. Does.
Is there? Yeah. Is there? I mean, the dragon is just bowing its head.
It's not a dragon. It's a serpent.
Oh, sorry, the fiery serpent. Right. Because it's hard to tell emotion from an engraving, but yeah.
Well, it just depends on the degree of emotion they engrave, right?
Right. That's what I'm wondering if there's any other symbology that would show courtship, right? Like flowers or something else, you know, to make that more clear.
Her hand is outreached, is outstretched to it, but it's not. Yeah, I mean, it could be anything.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. Okay. Anything else in the room of note?
There is here furniture. There is a well-appointed desk that its feet are, the feet of the desk are serpents. The front ones are serpents that coil up and then look forward. And then the bottom ones are ones where they're coiled and make broader feet for the
Right.
desk. I mean, it's very nice. It's the drawers are have been basically left unmolested. I mean, there are fine pearl handles on all of the for the drawer pulls. Um, there are silver brackets on the corners of the face of the drawers and things. Do you want to? All the drawers are closed. Do you want to open any of the drawers?
Yeah, let me first just kind of touch the desk and see if it has the enchantment on it or any
Roll.
magic. 79.
Does
Okay.
it grants, well, quite a lot. It grants plus 25 to administration.
Oh, wow.
And that is via runes, so plus 25 runes to administration.
Yeah, that is quite powerful. Okay, yeah, we'll look through some of the drawers. So we can even open up.
First drawer on the right hand side opens, no problem. It is empty.
Okay.
Second one is locked. The third one is locked.
And it's on one side.
That's what's on one side.
Okay.
There's a central drawer. It opens. It is empty. There are two on the other side. Both of them are locked. So you've got 4 locked drawers here.
And, well, you know what? I think I'm going to leave those for later, given that this looks pretty important and protected.
Yeah, you don't want to be
drawers
wrong.
On the left side are locked, and both drawers on the right side are locked. So what I've been doing is kind of keeping track of, locked doors or things that I've kind of missed, and noting it down as my unexplored rooms here.
Right. And I've drawn it here.
So this is, yeah.
All right. What is the deal there?
Okay, so I will continue down the hall then. Once you have finished putting that in.
I'm having that problem again. I wonder why it's not. I'm a rectangle tool. It's got to be it, right? Let me see.
Rectangle.
That's it. I don't know why it's giving me rounded corners, but I'll look into that later, I think. Maybe. So. All right. What now?
We can go down to the room on the. Well, I guess we'll go to the room on the right side of the hall.
Okay.
Adjacent to this one.
Again, I'm just going to have you stop off and listen.
Yep.
And then you want to go across the hall or not?
No, yeah. We'll investigate this one right here.
Okay.
Try to open this door.
No sound. Door is locked.
Okay. This in particularly ornate looking door?
It's similar to the others, which is fairly nice. This must be a whole office complex.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll leave that one for later.
Okay.
And Yeah, the one across from here. So another one thing I was thinking, I guess maybe you can help me think through this too. Obviously, if a door is locked, not expected to find a key for it, but this is like offices, right? Do you think like guards, someone might have kept spare keys or something? I guess they might have been looted a long time ago.
Yeah,
But
it's difficult to say. Like it's such
I
a
guess
remote area.
in my knowledge of temples, right? Like, did I know if any priests kept keys on their person or if there was a place where,
Definitely, all were true. They would keep
yeah,
one or more copies on their person, so they could loan one out to a runner to go
right.
run fetch something from their office, but still have their original. Some who were very fastidious and would not make copies, would never let anybody into their office unless they were present. And likewise, that often the guards would have copies.
Hmm.
This door too is locked, but you hear no sound from it. What would you like to do?
Okay. We'll skip that one too and check out the one on the diagonal from me. That one looks propped open.
It is. You approach it quietly and listen. No sound.
Okay.
We're
Well,
taking a peek.
yeah.
Open, open. Doop, doop. So, yeah, step in. This room is filled with shelves just shoved against the wall. Um, you get the sense that this was an office and it has a hearth and everything, but uh, things were emptied out of the other rooms maybe and just stored here for later pickup.
Hmm.
So there are shelves, and there's like 6 different shelves, sort of just crammed. They're emptied. Behind the shelves, you can see that there are um, well-appointed sitting chairs that are stacked up in there. There's like 8 of them. The fabric is largely gone from all of them. It's just the frames of them and their adornments. There are silver adornments that could use some cleaning. There are silver clad feet on these chairs.
Yeah. Okay.
Serpents. Sometimes it's Wanbray herself, as though she's supporting,
Right.
right? Um, um, and the reason you can see these feet is because the chairs are stacked, and so
Right.
some of the chairs are just right at eye level, but several you can't reach them through all
Right.
the shelves yet. Um, Apparently, it may be that dragon imagery is associated with whatever specialty these priests had.
Yeah.
The
Interesting.
mosaic
Only
here,
here. Yeah.
the mosaic here on the floor, um, is an enormous blue-green dragon.
Mhm.
Um, and there it is captioned, or sort of, captioned with these banners that have writing on them, right? These sort of waving banners like you see in
Yeah.
some medieval illuminations. And putting on your spectacles, it says,
Chair room.
it does. That's all it says. This is the chair dragon. It says,
Most powerful of dragons.
that's right. It says Fashtar, sovereign of skies, servant of mother.
Ashtar. Okay.
Um, the walls here, the engraving, instead of it being serpents, um, sort of what do you want to call it? What is the word for that? I'm drawing a blank. A baseboard. The
Hmm.
baseboard engraving along this room is that of dragons, and they're not uniform. They're not just an icon repeated. They are distinct. There's no title to them, but there's one with just enormous, almost tusk-like teeth in the back. There's one with long, swept horns that go back.
Wow.
Some have
Are
wings.
these all dragons? Or
Say again?
these are all dragons?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And they go for all throughout the baseboard, where a baseboard might be. There is this border work of dragons, and they're sort of one after another, you know. So there you go.
Wow. Okay. I was gonna say if the name Fashtar rings a bell at all in my readings.
Sort of. There was the Pin peoples you hear have a dragon within their religious stories called Vashtar.
Okay.
It is supposed to be enormously powerful, like equal to one of their gods.
Wow.
But not a worshipped figure, but simply someone who is just as powerful.
Right. And you said the goblin stories?
No, Pin.
Pen, sorry.
So the desert nation.
Not revered. Interesting. Okay. And so just kind of, circling around this room, make sure there's nothing else I missed. Then we can.
No, not unless you want to haul shelving out of the way and just check.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, I don't want to, I'm trying to imagine how much work that would be, right? I guess I have time, so I'll go ahead and do that if.
Yeah, and you're certainly not intimidated by labor. I mean, you've always regarded yourself as
right.
physically powerful, you know. You move the things pretty carefully. Interestingly, you find one of the shelves can be ordered to give light.
Oh.
Another of the shelves, so long as you're touching it, it grants you plus 15 to perception. And you find that hilarious because it clearly must have been enchanted to help you find books faster.
Right. That's really clever. What you need to do is carry the shelf around me the whole time.
That's right. It is an adventurer's shelf, as is commonly the case. An adventurer's shelf.
Oh, that's so funny.
You make it to the chairs, and you sort of move those somewhat off the wall. You're now sort of all the way back here. There's a hearth to your right again. And moving this stuff, it depicts 3 of the dragons clearly at the command of the Iron Empress, who stands sort of behind them. So it's sort of sort of this medieval kind of look where you've got a figure here, right? And then you just have 3 stacked figures, and those are the dragons.
Yeah.
And they are clearly attacking the eagle that the Iron Empress's people worship. That list is somewhere.
You cut out there, so they're attacking an eagle.
They're attacking the eagle from their mythology.
Oh, right. Interesting. Okay. Man, this is like, this temple has given me more questions than answers, because there's other indications that they've not necessarily worked together, but they are like coexisting. And then here, like they're,
Well, in your experience, this would depict a story,
yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that's true. Like, even the gods in my pantheon have had alliances and
right?
fights.
Conflicts and
Yeah,
yeah.
I see. Okay, that makes more sense. I was thinking of it too simply. Um, okay, and there's no caption or anything describing.
No.
Mhm. Okay. See, now I'm like really tempted. Maybe I should try to unlock those other rooms because they might have more
Oh
valuable.
no. I think
In
I cut out.
oh, you did, but you're.
Say that again.
I said, well,
Oh
I'm waiting
no,
for your
man.
bar
What?
to come back.
Go ahead.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I'm tempted to unlock those other rooms now to see if there's a continuation to this story because they all seem to be
Right.
area. But we'll we will leave my curiosity unsated for now. Eagle from.
I do
Okay.
like this whole sharing the screen thing. I like that
Yeah.
in this. I mean,
Fun.
it's cool. I
It
do
does
wish
work
we had.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, I do wish we had a way to obscure a range of view.
Right.
And maybe I'll be able to do that later with because I do have dungeon fog that I can play
Yeah.
around with, and so that might be something we look to. Um,
Yeah. Dungeon Fog has like shortcuts for doors and stuff too. Yeah, I think you can like click on and open doors without having to drag it. So
yeah,
check it out if you got some time. It'll be
yeah.
fun. So okay, so
Uh,
we'll go to the other room across from this one then.
roll for me.
So, 37.
You hear nothing. Roll for me again.
Smell nothing. 46.
It opens.
Hear nothing. Smell nothing. Wait, Nalani. Jeez.
After on my shoulder. Um,
Yeah, she's like on my shoulder, just right there. Like, oh, nice.
Hearth to your left.
Hmm.
Desk to your right. Um, um, uh, wow, the mosaic on this floor is really disturbing.
Ooh.
And it is captioned. Um, and so the image is that of a dragon skeleton in the middle of the floor,
Hmm.
very large. It's taller. You would lay down and reach out, and it's about that long.
Hmm.
Surrounding it are um, are three dragons, blood on their mouths, and um, and Wanbray, the Iron Empress, with blood on her hands. And the caption reads, "The last feast of Fashtar."
Hmm. And well, all of these mosaics are like metal album covers. I love it. Also, like, man, this is so cool. And the Iron Emperor. So Fashtar doesn't look like one of the three dragons, right? It's probably referring to the one in the middle.
Yeah, it's pretty clear that
It's a
she killed him, and
yeah,
then the other three.
right.
And you recognize those three from being two of the three were ones attacking
Okay.
the eagle, and Fashtar was the other. And
Mm.
but you recognize this new third one as the one with the long swept horns.
Okay.
This newcomer.
Right.
Um,
appeared in the mosaic. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Anything else in the room of note? I guess there's a desk, right? So I'll
Oh
check
man,
the drawers. Oh, you back?
there you go. Say it again.
There's a desk, right? So I'll check the drawers.
Yes, equally ornate to the other. Um, touching it as you just sort of go around it, um, you're channeling blasts while touching this this desk um, has a 50% chance of doing double stun.
Wow. I'm lugging it with the shelf, Kevin. I'm bringing it along.
All of these drawers, as you try them sort of gingerly, all of them are unlocked. All of them are empty. Except for a single black pearl in the bottom of the bottom left drawer. You're not certain of its value. When you touch it, it has a very strange sensation. You feel chilled, but you can tell that it grants +20 when casting spells related to portals.
Wow.
But it's a very unnerving feeling. Like you've never had an enchantment sort of, wow, this is really powerful, but what is the deal going on here? I'm like, it makes you feel very uncomfortable. And so, you set it down, on some groove in the engraving and, regard it, right? You don't want to keep holding it. It just feels too strange. The feeling does not pass immediately. It takes moments for it to pass. What would you like to do?
I was going to say, is there any, have you heard of magic items? I mean, I guess I'm assuming, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if this would be a magic item or it would be just an enchanted, pearl or something.
That's still an item that is magical. I mean, you
right.
can't.
That's what I'm saying. If I've heard of something of this type, like a pearl or.
Certainly, you've heard of items that have become cursed because of long contact with arts or sources of evil. You and I have had discussions before about the nature of curses in Karandran versus other games.
Right.
That I just don't believe that items would be created to deliberately have curses, except for very exceptional circumstances. You're not going to find, for instance, I don't know. I don't think you'd find a cursed shield that wasn't extraordinarily also ornate and beautiful and so on. Because the only reason to go and fashion a curse of any great power is to curse the powerful to gain leverage over them or revenge.
Right.
If it's just, to use D&D terms, if it's just a +1 shield, who are you cursing that wants a +1 shield?
Curses.
Yeah, I mean, I got that soldier. That'll show him. Now his hair falls out. Ha ha ha.
Well, you don't know the extent of wizards, and there are some Very petty wizards.
Very petty wizards.
Uh, so I might try a curse lore on it. Um,
So the other thing, of course, is much like you've experienced, items becoming damaged
right,
because of miscasting of magic,
right.
strange magical phenomenon.
How they
I mean, you
behave.
saw the interaction. Yeah, I mean, special environments.
Hmm.
Um, it is one of the most important aspects to me in Karandran. The magic should not be taken for granted, and it
Right.
should not just be casually understood. You
Hmm.
know, and so clearly this is it's a possibility that this pearl has gone through something that it shouldn't have,
Right.
and now has something amiss with it.
Man, yeah. Which means I would be scared to cast more magic on it and get some other strange reactions. So
Certainly, you don't want to do so without precautions.
right. What happens if I wrap it in cloth, right? Like I've just did try to pick it up. Do I still have that sensation?
You do a layer, for instance, like use your cloak, and you're like, it takes several layers for the effect to really not register, and that's through your gloves that you wear.
Right. Okay, but it does.
Right,
It can block it. Okay.
right. It doesn't recognize that you've touched it.
Yeah. You know what I might do actually is I will bundled up, right? I will take this back to um, the library and deposit it there. Well, my horse is in there actually. So let's actually take it to. We'll have to remember. So remember, I came across a room where all the valuable armor
Sure.
was. I can't remember the name of the fellow there. He was someone who died there. Um,
Right.
yeah,
But yeah, that sort of little armory
yeah.
that he
I
left.
kept some mithril and some armor in there. I think I'll drop this off in there.
Okay.
Good place to keep it for now. And see if I can.
Well, do you want to go do that, and we'll have you return to the first locked door, and then maybe we'll call it there?
Sure, yeah. I think that would be good.
All right. So make a note that you have deposited
Right.
um, the pearl,
That is funky, man.
and we'll park you here by one of the doors. One of the three.
It's funny. The only thing scarier than a curse is something that may be a curse, but I'm not sure. Because if it's a curse, it's like
Well,
it's within a certain realm of rules, like detect curse and that sort of stuff. But like
right.
this is something different, yeah. Or if it
And
is, I don't, yeah.
curses, at least once you identify them, they're predictable.
Right, right,
Malfunctioning magic item is anything but.
yeah. Very cool.
Um, Obi-Wan Karen playing a different game, playing a character in this game. She just acts. She had a huge fumble just casting light,
Oh yeah,
and she was going to cast it on the horn of her saddle, right? Um, so she would have light going out around her, and she could watch the sides of the road and that sort of thing.
right,
She miscast it, and it was sort of good bad miscast. It would not shut off. The spell
right,
became
right.
permanent on this thing, and so to go to sleep at night, they had to cover it with blankets. Because it would keep them up. Um, so, um, so I think we'll call it there, don't you
Yeah,
think?
yeah. I think so.
And
Sorry, I'm just catching up on the notes here.
no, it's fine. It's fine. So we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We really do appreciate it. We enjoy all the comments and the joking around and the little bits of information you guys shoot us while
Yeah,
we're playing. So we are going to be back next week. So stay tuned for that. That'll be episode 107. We'll continue exploring the temple. If you think we're doing a good job, hop over to Donor Box and send us some money. If you want to hear more from Max, and I always recommend that, then go to his channel where he discusses video game music and original soundtracks. Did you ever get that new video up?
It's coming out soon. I got my
Okay.
pop filter now, so I'm going through some audio and fixing it.
Oh, okay.
Hearing
Very
all
nice.
those sounds. So
Right.
it'll be out soon, hopefully.
Thanks as always to Elliot Dinovitz for their terrific character art for Brise that we use every episode. If you want to see more of their work, then please go to artstation.com/Tortolua and take a look at the other things that they've produced. And I've written a novel, and I hope you find it fantastic. It's on Amazon. It's called The Shore Too Far. I think that's all from me.
About
Max,
damn
why don't you
time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Max, why don't you say goodbye to the lovely people?
Yeah. Thanks everyone for coming out and chatting, and hope you enjoyed the session. And stay tuned next week for
That's
continuation of the adventure.
that's right. Thanks everybody. We appreciate it.